Alright, go ahead.
Do I have to say their name on front? I mean,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
This is from Luke on Amazon, right? Okay. See you in hell, Haribo.
That's
Sugar-free gummy bears. And there they sat, 2 bags of Haribo. Sugar-free gummy bears. Buy one, get one free. What a deal. As I walked to class, I gleefully chewed on those abominable little unaware of the utter mayhem that they would soon unleash upon my poor anus. I sat down at my desk as the professor informed us that, due to issues with cheating in the past, restroom breaks would be prohibited until the completion of the exam. So in my moments of ignorant foolishness, I remained seated, still munching on those miniature bear-shaped bombs. The professor handed out the test. I was 6 questions in when that happened. It started off subtly at first. Little did I know that my intestines were trying desperately to warn me of the horror that was on the horizon. By question 9, it happened again. But this time, it followed by a sharp pain, as if those infernal hellions had orchestrated an attack upon my colon. I fought to contain that groan that tried escaping my lips. It was at this point I began to panic. By question 14, my worst fear was upon me. The Satan bears, burning, hot, liquidy dark magic crashed against my anal sphincter like a tidal wave.
Sphincter?
I was able to close the hatch just in time, but those relentless, toxic bears beat against it like orcs breaking down the doors of Helm's Deep!
That's Lord of the Rings.
I knew I wouldn't be able to take so much as the shift in my seat without risking a breach. I kept fighting through my exam, clenching my cheeks with all my might. Suddenly, a loud gurgling war cry came from my belly, and the entire class lifted their heads. At this point, nothing mattered except expelling the ungodly presence from my bowels. With 15 questions left, I promptly wrote C for every answer and ran out of the classroom. I burst into the restroom like that Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah! And behold, the handicap stall was empty. It took me less than 0.5 seconds to undo my belt buckle, pull down my pants, and finally relax my weary buttocks on the toilet seat. Almost immediately, the floodgates of hell were opened, and the damned liquefied souls of the entire bags of wormy of gummy bears cried as they burned through my sphincter and into the watery abyss below.
It's I have never felt
such a yes, I have never felt such a simultaneous relief and anguish in my life. After 30 more minutes of
Why does he have an accent now?
I don't know.
After 30 more minutes of this, I immediately went home, dug a hole in my backyard, and burned the remaining bag of gummy bears. Do not, and I repeat, do not eat these spawns of Satan! The only place these God-forsaken hell bears belong are buried deep below Earth's surface. And 15,519 people found this helpful. I appreciate his passion for his hatred for these demon bears. 1-star rating, by the way.
This is just a quote. He said, "What came out of me felt like someone tried to funnel Niagara Falls through a coffee straw. I swear my sphincters were screaming." And then this one, the horror at 30,000 feet.
My personal favorite.
My flight was leaving at 8 in the morning. I made it to my gate as they were boarding. I get on the plane and head down the aisle to find my window seat near the middle of the plane. I asked politely for the 2 adorable older ladies sitting in the middle of the aisle seats if I could pass by to my seat. They obliged. The lady in the middle must have been around 80 years old. Fast forwarding 20 minutes as we reached out to cruising altitude of around 30,000 feet in the air. As I reach into my carry-on bag to grab my headphones, I see the gummy bears. Since I am hungry, I need something. I decided to open them and just have a few to hold me over until we land. I wanted to save some for my son, so I maybe had 4 or 5, but I had 4 or 5 too many. Because
wait, he only ate 4 or 5?
Yeah.
How many have you eaten?
About 4 or 5.
You said 7.
Maybe 7. I had like 5 at least.
Oh, that's not good.
Let's just, a lot of people are saying that these are, they're not jokes, these reviews, so we'll see.
Oh
He had 4 or 5 too many because once the bears had a few minutes to adjust to their new home, they began to work.
I'm afraid we made a mistake.
We might have. I started out with a little cramp, which is normal with gassing on a plane. You do not want to fart on a plane, so you hold it in. It is airplane etiquette. It would come and go a few minutes, so I thought nothing of it. Then it got worse. The cramps intensified.
Intensified?
Oh no.
The sweating started, and I began to notice the older ladies looking over at me. About 30 minutes into eating these bears, my thinking went from, oh, these are just farts, I can hold them, to, oh dear God, not here. I have been a Christian my whole life, and this is the test.
Oh, it's the test.
If there is a God,
It's the
please
test.
help me leave this plane with dignity. After waiting for these intense cramps wave to pass, I stood up and jumped over these two women. I could not wait for them to stand, so I stood up, my back facing them. I tried to shimmy past them. I think a two came out, because I heard one say, oh Lord, was that you? After reaching the aisle, I waddled to the back of the plane where the least amount of risk would be. To my dismay, it was in use. That left one bathroom, left in front of me. I looked down the aisle and saw my Mount Everest.
Oh.
I had to somehow keep my wet cheeks tighter than Fort Knox whilst waddling forward, whilst praying no one gets out of their seats. After 5 minutes of stop and go, I made it to the bathroom and was pulling my pants down as I entered the bathroom. The door was still unlocked, and as the sweet release was underway, I thought I had died. I thought this was it. Even though I was on the throne confessing my sins, I thought my time was called. I lost count of how many knocks at the door there was. I must have been there for 45 minutes, but I made it.
Oh God, no!
I washed my hands and threw water in my face to calm me down. Opening the door, I saw the faces looking back at me. Apparently, the seal to the bathroom was not airtight, letting just the slightest airflow from the bathroom to the main cabin possible. These were daughters, mothers, and children looking at me. I could feel their questions and comments. What have you done? We still have 2 hours left. Please divert this plane. As I began walking down, the man in the first row of first class grabbed my arm. He said, hey man, where's your seat? Confused, I told him, and he said, go get your stuff and come back and sit here. You need this more than me. I was embarrassed and ashamed. I had family at home waiting for me. I recommend these bears to anyone, but please eat them responsibly.
That was pretty.
That was funny.
So he only ate
4 or 5.
4. Oh gosh. It's a good thing we bought toilet paper at Walmart.